Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti. I am MrPhotographer.com. In this video series, I'm going over all the different menu settings that are found in the Nikon Z6. Most of these settings will also apply to the Nikon Z7. In our last episode, I went over all the settings in the photo setting menu. In this episode, I'm going to do part of the custom setting menu. I'm probably going to do A, B, and C of this menu. In our next episode, I'll finish up all the rest of the settings in this custom settings menu. So we're going to start right off the bat. We're going to jump over to the very top, Reset Custom Settings. If you want to reset every setting that is in the custom setting menu, choose this choice. Now it will only reset the settings that are in this menu. It's not going to reset the entire camera. So all those settings you did in the photo shooting menu, those will stay. You're not going to be resetting those. Now, the A section has to do with focus, specifically autofocus. And the very first choice is AF-C priority selection. I have that set to release. And what this means is, will the camera take a picture if the image is not in focus? I have it set so that yes, it will. So that's what release means. When you have it set to release, if your camera isn't in focus and you press the shutter button, it will still take the picture. If you have it set to focus, the camera will only take the image when the image is in, or when the scene is in focus. I prefer not to have that. And you could control this in various focus modes, either continuous or single. And AF-C, I have it set to release. AF-S, I too have that set to release. Now, one thing you may notice as you look at this menu, you'll notice the A in A1 does not have an asterisk above it, but in A2 it does. Wherever the asterisk is, that means that I've changed the setting from its default setting. So I've changed the default setting for AF-S is focus. I've changed that to release. And I've changed the default settings now for anything that has the asterisk on it. Focus tracking with lock on. This is if you're focusing on something and something else comes between you and that focus point. How fast do you want the camera to react to that new thing that got in between you, your camera, and that focus point? I have it set to relatively quick too. The slower you want the camera to react, the more you'd move it towards a higher number, like 5. I found 2 works fine for me, but if you're photographing, let's say, birds in flight, and quite often maybe a tree branch or something will get in between you and the bird as it's going across the sky, you may not want the camera to react that quickly and refocus on, let's say, that tree branch. So you'd prefer to have this on a more delayed number, like 4 or 5. Next is Auto Area AF Face Detection. Now, in those autofocus auto areas, one of them is Auto Area. And you could have it so that it will automatically detect a face and focus on the face when you're in that mode. If you do like that function, turn this on. I have that on. Focus points used. You could use either all of them or basically half of them. And the reason why you might want to do this is when you're using the control wheel on the back to move your focus point, if you use all of them, it will take longer to move from, let's say, the far left to the far right. If you use half of them, it jumps them. It goes like 2 at a time, basically. So it will go a lot faster. I want to use all the focus points, so I have it set to all. Store points by orientation. If you're shooting horizontally, and let's say you choose a focus point that is offset to the left a little bit, then you turn your camera and you shoot vertically, and you choose a focus point that is up towards the top. If you have store points by orientation set to on, then it will remember those settings. So when you shoot horizontally, it will choose that focus point to the left. When you spin your camera to shoot vertically, it will reset the focus point to that point that's towards the top. So you have the choice of yes or no to Store points by orientation. I have it set to yes. I found that works great. AF activation. This is whether or not you're going to use back button focus. If you are using just the AF on button to focus, you want AF on only, like I have it set to. If you want to use the shutter button to focus, you would choose the top choice, shutter AF on. I encourage you to use AF activation or use back button focus and have AF activation set to off, like I do. Limit AF area mode selection. Now, this has to do with the eye menu and whether or not you want all of these different AF area modes to appear on your eye menu, but it's kind of odd the way it does it. Let me demonstrate. Let's take away wide area AFL, okay? So I used the control wheel or the selection wheel on the back to move down, and then I used the right arrow key on the selection wheel to deselect that. Now I'm going to tap on the OK button. Now, when I go to the eye, and you can see now I'm on AF area mode, and if I use the control dial on the back of the camera and spin it, you'll see that my choices are pin, single point, wide S, and you'll notice wide L is missing, and I'm going right to auto area AF. So that is what that controls, and it only is when you're using the control wheel to choose your autofocus point. If you actually tap on the, let me go back. If you tap on that, you'll notice that a wide dash L is located here, and you could go to it very easily. It's only in that other mode when you're in this mode and you use that back control wheel to select. So, I don't know. To me, it may be just a little bit worthless. So, I'm going to turn that back on. Tap OK. Next is focus point wraparound. When you're choosing a focus point and you, let's say, go to the extreme right, if you use the selection dial and go further to the right, it will wrap around and start going to the left, kind of like Pac-Man. I like to wrap, so I'll have that on. So I have it to wrap as opposed to no wrap. If you have it to no wrap, when you reach the end, top, bottom, left, or right, it will just stay there and it won't like wrap around. So I prefer wrap around. I think it's just a faster way to focus or to choose a focus point. Focus point options. Manual focus mode. This is whether or not the actual focus point will illuminate in the viewfinder. In manual focus mode, if you're manually focusing, do you want that focus point to illuminate? I have it set on. You, of course, could have it set to off. Dynamic area AF assist. So when you're in dynamic area AF mode, do you want the surrounding focus points to illuminate as well as the actual focus point? I have that set to on as well. Low light autofocus. If you find that you're often taking images in low light, if you turn low light AF on, it will help your camera better focus in low light. But the drawback of having this on is overall the camera will focus a bit slower. So since I don't often focus in low light, I have this set to off. That way my camera will focus as quickly as possible in most situations. Built-in AF Assist Illuminator. There's a little light on the front of the camera that will come on to help you focus in darker situations. I have that set to on. Now we're to the B section. The EV steps for exposure control. This is the actual, like, if you're adjusting shutter speed, aperture, or ISO, do you want to go in 1/3 step increments or 1/2 step increments? I leave that at the default value of 1/3 step increments. Easy exposure compensation. If you have this set to on, you could use the sub command dial, that's the dial on the front of the camera, to adjust exposure compensation as opposed to pressing the button on the top of the camera and using the command dial to adjust exposure compensation. So basically, you could adjust exposure compensation without pressing a button, just by spinning the sub-command dial. If you have it set to on, then it will always be on. And when you turn the camera off, let's say you dial in plus 1 stop of exposure compensation. If you turn the camera off and then back on, it will stay at plus 1 stop of exposure compensation. If you have it on with auto reset, then when you turn the camera off, it will reset to 0 every time. I just have it off. I don't mind pressing the button on the top of the camera, then turning the command dial to set my exposure compensation. I don't need to do that front dial. Center weighted area. If you're using center weighted metering, do you want to use a very small 12 millimeter section of the center of the frame as the weighted area for your metering? Or do you want to take a larger section and average it? I have it set to the first choice, which is the default choice, but I don't often use center weighted metering anyway, so that setting doesn't really affect me. Fine-tune optimal exposure. Do you find that often you're taking images, let's say, let's go to yes. It's asking you, do you want to do these? Go to yes. Let's say you use spot metering, but you find your spot metering is often, let's say, a little bit underexposed. Well, you could come in here and change it so that it is either, if it's underexposed, you'd have to add exposure. So you could go up. So you're adding it in 1/6 stop increments. So if you're often, let's say, half a stop underexposed when you're using spot metering, you would go 3/6. That would be half a stop, right? Now, every time you take an image using spot metering, the camera's going to automatically add a half a stop of exposure. You could go positive or negative, again, in 1/6 stop increments. Now, I don't find that the camera is metering incorrectly, so I don't have to change any of these. But there may be some situations where you're often using, let's say, highlight weighted metering in a very specific situation, and the camera consistently underexposes the scene or overexposes the scene. Well, you could compensate for it kind of permanently here. Next is shutter release AEL. This has to do whether you're going to lock exposure in with the shutter button when you half press it. So when you half press the shutter button, let's say you're using spot metering and you put the spot, the focus point basically, over something, and you half press in the shutter. The camera will lock the exposure. So as long as you hold that shutter button in halfway and you recompose, it's going to hold that exposure in. On the other hand, if you prefer, you could have it only do that when you're in burst mode. So you're shooting off a number of images in either continuous low or continuous high. So you could set it in burst mode. So the half press will only be effective in burst mode. Or you could have it set to off. I have it set to on, although I'm contemplating changing that to off. The self-timer mode, the controls here is the self-timer delay. So you're going to use a timer mode. How long do you want it to wait before taking that first image? So you're going to press the shutter, and I have it set to 2 seconds. So you press the shutter, it will wait 2 seconds, then it will take the first image. You could go 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or 20 seconds. How many shots do you want it to take? You could go up to 9. So from 1 to 9, I have it set to 5, but I often will change that. The interval between shots. So it takes the first image. How long do you want it to take before it takes the second image? I have it set to half a second. You could go either half a second, 1, 2, or 3 seconds. Next is power off delay. If you're not touching the camera and you're in one of these different modes, how long do you want the camera to wait before it actually powers down? If you're in playback mode, you're reviewing images, you could change it to 4 seconds, 10, 20, a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and so on. Menus, if you're on a menu, how long do you want it to wait before it actually will blank the screens and go kind of in a sleep mode. Image review, so you take a picture and it will show on the back screen. How long do you want it to show on that back screen? I have it set to 4 seconds. I actually don't use that. There's a different setting where you could turn that off altogether, and we'll get to that in a future video. Standby timer. So you're in standby timer mode. How long do you want it to keep the screens active? You could change these all to anything you like. And that's it. I think that's A, B, and C. We'll keep it there for this video. In our next video, we'll cover the rest of this menu. We'll do the shooting display D, bracketing and flash E, controls F, and the movie custom setting menu G. And look for that in our next video. I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone that watches my videos. I truly do appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.